Welcome to the edge. It is not the end of the world, but you can see it from here. We are at the Fulcrum point, when society lies in the balance.
Thanks for joining me. My name is Dave Dillner. I am the Unpleasant Blind Guy. This program will be available starting Saturday, November the 3rd, and it will run through that next week. The only problem is that during that week, history will be made. The American people will choose, once again, whether to plunge our nation further into darkness or whether to continue our populace's efforts to turn it back to the light. If you listened to my pre-election show, my special guest, Kenneth McClinton, the exceptional conservative, and I laid out some pretty good reasons why you should not be supporting the progressive, leftist, modern liberal side of things and their representatives this time. If you're listening to this program before the election, I'm still urging that people vote red, vote conservative on Election Day. It is the only way that the people of the United States of America can continue our trajectory back towards the self-rule that our founders wanted us to enjoy and pass on to new generations. But if you're listening to this after Tuesday, November the 6th, then I can say that I did all that I could do with this program in the effort to save our nation at the ballot box in the year 2018. If you're listening on or after November the 6th, the question becomes what happens next. As I record this program, the opening of the show is relevant. We are at a fulcrum point. Which way is our nation going to be moved? Right now, we don't know. I believe that we will hold on to the House and the Senate. Just barely, but I think we'll hold on to them. Usually, I'm right about these things, but not always. So after Tuesday, November the 6th, what happens? In 1961, NASA prepared 3 press releases for distribution at the conclusion of the Mercury flight that sent Alan Shepard, the first American in space, into suborbit. The first was for use if the mission was successful. The second was for use if the mission failed, but Shepard came out of it alive. And the third was for use if the mission failed and Alan Shepard wound up dead. 3 possibilities, and that's how they worked it. And that's how I'm going to work this one, because there are, at the time of this recording, on Monday the 29th of October 2018, 3 possible immediate outcomes to the 2018 election. That's right, I said 3. One will be that conservatives will lose the House or the Senate. That enough power will pass to the Democrats where they can begin obstruction of President Trump's agenda and further their mission to negate the American Revolution and destroy the Bill of Rights. The second will be that Election Day turns out to be a mess. I consider this a strong possibility, because it's become habit for the left that if they lose, they immediately go to voter intimidation claims, calls for recounts, and lawsuits. Don't be surprised if this option doesn't happen. And the third will be if Republicans manage to hang on to the House and Senate, which, as I have said at the moment of this recording, I believe is a real possibility. If Democrats win, people, I can tell you that we will survive. If this first option happens, I know it doesn't seem like we will, but as a nation, the United States of America will survive. We will survive not because our government has begun to listen to the people at that point, but we will survive because the founding principles of the United States of America live in its people. The left thinks that they can stamp those out. Well, I think you're seeing, through their efforts to bring in thousands of migrants illegally, that their propaganda efforts to make those principles a thing of the past have failed, and failed miserably. People, this isn't just about the fact that in the back of the Bible it says we win, though that is quite significant. Remember that only in recent history we lived through 4 years of the Jimmy Carter administration, we lived through 8 years of the Bill Clinton administration, and yes, we lived through 8 years of the worst administration in recent memory, the Obama administration. We made it through, and our principles survived. The idea that self-rule and personal liberty are the basis for our republic did not die. We didn't let it die. And if Democrats take control of the House and or Senate this time, we won't let it die. Whatever the left does, however the left tries to silence us, we will continue to share the truth, to share the facts, to share real history, and to share those best principles on which our nation was founded. Freedom will not be denied. If need be, we'll pass notes to each other written on paper, but our message will get through. The left will learn the lesson of all tyrants, that the more they try to suppress ideas, the more those ideas will flourish. Now, I'm not going to do what I heard another host do in 2012 when Barack Obama won a second term as president and people were depressed. That host basically said, "Well, it was because you didn't work hard enough." I'm not going to go there, because I know people worked and prayed and did what they could. We can do no less. What I am going to do, though, is to encourage you not to give up, not to give in, because the temptation, if the left wins, will be for some people to say, "You know what, I'm done. I'm sick and tired of busting my head against the wall of ignorance that the left has helped to build up around people. I'm beaten up, I'm beaten down, I'm sore, I'm exhausted. To heck with it all." God knows I've felt that temptation myself more than a few times in the past 50 years. But we can't give in to it. That is giving in to despair, and that's what the left wants. We have to see to it that they don't get it. We have to continue, each of us, in our own way, to further the cause of personal liberty and especially self-rule. The stakes are too high for the coming generations for us to do anything else. At the same time, we have to remember that not only are we right, but we are righteous. And that means that we must always maintain what we have always believed, which is that our rights end where other people's bodies, personal space, property, and ability to live a normal life begins. Anything else, and we're the left, anything else is thuggery. And unlike the left, we cannot let ourselves be drawn into that darkness. Any victory gained that way will be hollow and meaningless. We must continue to act as Jesus' apostles did, and fight with the truth. Defend ourselves absolutely, but remember that it was God who defined our rights as a people, and it is up to us to be worthy of those rights and act as His Son would. Now, what happens if election night turns out to be a mess, and by November the 7th, we have no idea who won? Again, I say I think this is a definite possibility, given the left's penchant for being bad sports about this sort of thing. They've tried everything else to negate the will of the people since 2016, so I don't put it past them to try phony baloney lawsuits about voter intimidation, the recount shuffle, recounting, and recounting time and again until they get results they want, and maybe losing a few boxes of ballots along the way for the Republicans, and anything else that occurs to them to short-circuit a possible Republican win from November the 6th. In this instance, people, we have to stay strong. We have to keep to our values, and we have to encourage the candidates that we supported not to give in. The stakes, once again, are too high for politicians to act like this is a golf game or something and be gentlemanly and step aside when they know that their election has been stolen from them. There's an example in that from history, in that some rather sketchy things were done in Chicago in 1960, and Richard Nixon at the time chose to ignore it and not challenge John F. Kennedy's election, and Nixon conceded. We can't afford that kind of decorum this time, because we're facing an opposition that will use any and every method, legal and illegal, to get what they want. We have to encourage our candidates to fight, even if the opposition claims that they've won. Fight if our candidates think that there have been irregularities. And people, I can tell you right now, there will be irregularities. We must stay behind them in this, and we must not get discouraged. We must not knuckle under, and we must not allow them to knuckle under, to pressure from the left, to just get on with things and let them take over. When it suits their agenda, we definitely see the left move fast to resolve issues. Now, suppose Republicans win. Suppose we retain control of the House and the Senate. Well, immediately, I don't see anything wrong with us taking a day to gloat. It is traditional for the winner to take a victory lap. I can guarantee you if the left wins, they'll gloat. It'll be a week-long gloat fest, at least. Get ready for that on MSNBC, CNN, and other leftist news outlets, if Republicans don't win. So it's all right for us to gloat. For a day. After that, it's unseemly. And there are those who say it's even sinful. I personally look at it as I did when we gloated after 2016. It was a celebration that, yes, our nation did have a chance. That not only our rights, but the rights of those who have chosen to be our enemies will have a chance to once again be respected. After we take our victory lap, though the left spit in it, we must extend the hand of friendship and welcome to people on the left. We must keep trying to convince them that conservatism, as Kenneth McClinton, the exceptional conservative, says, is the power of liberation. Not only for us, but for them as well. We must reassure them that the rights we fight for are not just ours, but theirs as well. Win or lose, as I say, we can not only be right, we have to be righteous. And remember that most people on the left are there for good intentions. They want to see the homeless housed, they want to see the sick healed, they want to see the hungry fed, and there's nothing wrong with those principles. They are simply being used by people who have a completely different agenda in mind, that agenda being the acquisition of power for a small minority to rule over everyone else. Those people on the left are our fellow Americans, and we have to welcome them and love them as our brothers and sisters, even when they say and do hateful things to us. Because that's what makes us conservatives. That's what makes us winners. That's what makes us winners when we win, and that's what makes us winners even if we lose. And while I don't know 100% what's going to happen on November the 6th, I do know one thing. We are a nation of awesome Americans. And that is why I'm going to put an Awesome Americans segment at the end of this program. This is a story posted on September the 14th, 2018, by Elizabeth Moorhead of WHIZ-TV, Channel 30, Zanesville, Ohio.
It was an exciting day for a local business owner. Ashley Moyer officially opened her interior design studio, but before the ribbon was cut, there was one last thing to be done. The new studio is located in an old firehouse, and Moyer wanted to show respect to those who serve there. Interim Fire Chief Doug Hobson, along with other members of the Zanesville Fire Department, raised a flag and rang the bell in front of the building 3 times, which was used to signify the end of a fire call, and in this case, the end of the building serving as a fire station.
I know this building means a lot to me, but it also means a lot to other people in the community, and I wanted to make sure that was respected as well, and that they felt like this was still their building.
Moyer says she spent 2 years renovating the building on Forest Avenue, and she's excited to finally open the studio to the public.
There were days and months that I didn't think this would happen. I thought it was going to be a quick renovation, but 2 years later, we are finished.
Moyer says she also hopes the space can serve as a place for community activities and be enjoyed by the public. For more information, you can visit Ashley Moyer's website.
People's respect for our first responders is becoming rather rare these days. And it's kind of sad that that's the case. But there are still those of us who hold our police officers and our EMTs and our firefighters in the reverence that their professions and their sacrifices call for. This story shows that even though American business must move forward, we must not forget those who have sacrificed and paved the way. And that is why Ashley Moyer of Zanesville, Ohio is an awesome American. People, regardless of what happens on November the 6th, in order to be the best of ourselves, we all have to strive to be awesome Americans. I've always said that our country is stuffed with people who have the spirit of charity and patriotism and brotherhood that we must share as we walk into the future together. And that is it for this time. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for listening. If it's before Election Day, get out there and vote. And if it's after Election Day, thank you for all you did. And may your God go with you. Goodbye.
The Unpleasant Blind Guy is copyright 2018. Anno Domini. Now for Dave's Canes. Extras that help you navigate the new media world.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This is Sackhead Sean.
And this is Sackhead's Clint.
And Sackhead's BZ.
Join us for a very important SHR Media special report, Election Night, November 6th, as we cover midterm returns live from the SHR Media Studios.
Not only will we have the best live election coverage, we'll have our very own SHR reporters on scene around the nation to keep you immediately updated.
We'll start at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and go until, well, it's over. We may have some choice comments to make along the way.
For the best midterm election night coverage, go to shrmedia.com and watch the show on Facebook, YouTube, and on Periscope. shrmedia.com. Be there.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
for fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
From a public locker inside a dilapidated Long Island rail station comes a show designed to piss off liberals using truth, facts, and ridicule. The Lid Radio Show, featuring the conservative voice from the People's Republic of New York, the Lid himself, Jeff Dunitz. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com. At Lid Radio, we fight for the truth, justice, and a good kosher T-bone. If you don't listen, Hillary Clinton might sneak into your bedroom in her housecoat late at night and blame you for her election loss. It's the Lid Radio Show with Jeff Dunitz.
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
The new show on the SHR Media Network, Sackheads Against Tyranny. On shrmedia.com. Go there quick like a bunny, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Wednesday. Live and direct on the SHR Media Network. shrmedia.com. Be there.
I'm Dave Milner. I bring 50 years of news analysis experience to you weekly through SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Talk Radio, and the Western Free Radio Network on The Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's English Defense League Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender, ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant, like the truth that Arizona Senator John McCain is still dead, and yes, as a senator, he did suck.
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capitol, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish were abused in the making of this ad.
Hey girls, Carry Girl Gear is here. More and more women every day are concealed carrying, participating in competitive shooting, and getting firearms training. It's not a boys' club anymore, and we don't have to shop in their stores anymore either. Finally, a cool and unique clothing line just for women. Dope tees and hats for the patriotic concealed carry and 2A girl. So what are you waiting for? Go check out carrygirlgear.com today.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.